because we want the game to be believable, not, oh yeah, I shot in the forest and all the tree zombies are going to get me. We don't want that. We want the game to be believable. So really, yes, you would be, pseudo pulling zombies from the town.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the fourth part of our Dead Matter Q&A. This is a multi-part series. If you've missed any of those, I'll put the links in the description and cards up top. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Let's jump into our Dead Matter Q&A.
But when they do spawn and get brought over, they are reduced from a population pool number, and it's kind of all contained in the metagame. And how that works is essentially every time a zombie is spawned and it's an actor in the world, it's taking off of a list of kind of sleeping zombies that are like in the town and stuff. And essentially you can clear out a town. Zombies will eventually repopulate it, but you could temporarily clear out a town to the point where zombies do not even spawn anymore if you just had a lot of ammo.
Yeah, someone with a silenced pistol going around killing zombies could make a town partially safe.
Yes.
Nice. So yeah, I know NPCs are going to be in the world, and I know that there's some kind of role that they'll play with the survivor, and as far as communities go. How detailed do you guys plan to make those survivor interactions with NPCs outside of their own camp? Are they going to be like hostile, friendly? Is there going to be invasive? Will there be any kind of dialogue?
We're thinking that everything initially will probably be just a bit rough around the edges, especially when it comes to the AI. When they do see their first release, it'll likely be. We want dialogue in some form to be had so that you can at least converse with them in some way, and getting that to work is a lot harder than just having them being hostile outright. So if I'm in the first implementation of the actual NPCs in the world, there'll probably be a basic dialogue system within areas that they claim, and you could possibly talk to the leader in a basic way.
Okay.
But anything kind of more beyond that, like it's not. We want to make sure that they kind of get the right amount of development before putting them into the game. So
yeah, of course.
And yeah.
So something that I've always thought would be pretty dynamic with these kind of games, especially ones with NPCs, would be some kind of bounty system. Have you guys considered doing any kind of NPC based bounty where you can tell someone, whether it's an NPC bounty hunter, to put a bounty on this person, or have you even considered a place where players can assign bounties to other players in payment for supplies to that NPC? Or to
I'd rather have the players do that themselves, especially with having like the name system and recognition and stuff like that. So
yeah, I didn't even think about that. The name system is actually going to change that the dynamic on that point.
Yeah. So if you catch someone off guard who's not disguised and they're in like a safe area or whatever, and then you can just follow them out and do your business with them, then they shouldn't have pissed people off then.
Yeah, right.
But that is entirely up to the players to do.
So with outside of, I guess, NPC interaction, the world, I know that you've got some things that are interactable, and from what I've understood, other than blinds, power, and decorating, you won't necessarily be able to manipulate the world. You won't be able to blow a building up, and you won't really be able to dig down with geomod. But do you plan to have like a gas station? Can you destroy a gas station because of the volatile nature in gas, or or even like, I know I saw something about blowing up gas tanks, but will you be able to use those to open up bases?
Yes, you'll be able to destroy propane tanks, gas cans, and all that, and you can even use it, to maybe blow open a door or something like that, and that causes a lot of noise, and that's that was probably going to be like one of our primary ways to raid, is kind of like in Mad Max. So you have to get like a can of gas and like kind of shoot it right next to the door to kind of blow it open.
I think we saw
we were
that
thinking
in isn't that in Miscreated? I think it's something similar.
Oh, I have no idea. I honestly have stopped playing that game. So I
It's another game that fell to the wayside.
yeah. No, we basically wanted to make it so any any breaking into a building is very loud and therefore attracts zombies. So the further you want to get into someone's base, the more noise you're making and the worse off that you're probably going to be. Um, so yes, you can use those to actually gain entrance to someone's base.
Okay.
It's the gas can is probably the worst way to do it. So you have to basically craft an explosive with the gas can slash propane tank, and that's just our way to make sure that people aren't like going to a gas station, grabbing everything, and then looting every house on the map. So
Gotcha.
they are the base ingredients. But the gas can one is a little bit worse to deal with because you actually have to have the wood burn a bit while it explodes. So you do have to wait like a minute or two to access whatever entryway that you've kind of been trying to clear out. But a propane tank won't necessarily have the same punishing effect, but they are louder, so there will be more zombies.
So now those things won't be affected by players' gunshots. You won't be able to shoot a gas can that's on the ground and have it explode.
It will explode, but it won't do the same effect as actually setting up an explosive, like a you know
Like a door
a gas
breach or something.
can that breaches it. Yeah, yeah, like that's what you would essentially be making. And the reason why that's behind a crafting recipe, it's not because like we don't like the idea of people like gas is needed a lot in dead matter, and we don't want to make the explosive devices too easy to make because
Yeah.
then raiding would become just a huge issue. Um, we have to make rating accessible, but we have to make it not completely inaccessible or not overly accessible as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So on bases then on like fortification, do you plan to make it so that we can secure more than just a building? Like, could we potentially take over a school basketball court if we wanted to?
Yes. How we were starting out with the system is I was like, okay, well, take over houses, blah blah blah, and I was like, well, may as well make the whole world be able to be taken over. There's no real point to not have that. So pretty much will be the entire world can be taken over, and you can do whatever you really want with any building. The exception to this is certain buildings that are in kind of those little survivor colonies. So those will be uninhabitable by default in multiplayer, but not in co-op. And the reason why in multiplayer is because that usually those areas that had survivors living in them, that took up about 60% or so of a town. And in multiplayer, if that many people took over like every building in there plus all the ones around it, like it would kind of be almost crowded. So we want to make sure that players have lots of kind of room between each other.
Gotcha.
And also buildings, we have to have buildings in the map to introduce loot, and we feel that at least having like the core parts of a town kind of they were in kind of that quarantine slash lockdown state where like people were getting evacuated and stuff. Having all of the towns kind of in that state is something that we definitely really want, because you have to be able to loot somewhere. Like
Yeah.
you can't just have every building taken over. So
Well, and we saw that in Arma, people would lock down airfields, like the Northeast airfield. They lock it down, nobody else could get there, and then you're stuck without getting that close military to a spawn.
yep.
Interesting. So, now I'm from the U.S. and I saw that there was some talk about a U.S. map. Is it a real possibility? And do you already have a city location kind of chosen for that?
um huh. you know I don't think that we've ever considered doing US map. But I did recently visit Seattle, and that city is really damn cool. So I'd probably do it there, or maybe even in Portland or something.
Interesting.
Probably definitely like West Coast, one of the states that like kind of doesn't really get a huge amount of attention in games. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Everyone always shoots for some of the big places. You know what?
yeah, I think that places like like New Orleans or New York or Atlanta, like those have all been done. But like who has done one kind of in that part of the country? Like
Who's
no one.
who's gone to Idaho? Who's gone to
Yeah,
somewhere random? Awesome. So something that's always stood out in a game like Miscreated was the size and familiarity of the large city. Uh, to what we see in like North America, do you plan to have a large city like so here in the States? You know, you've got these really big skyscrapers in a lot of cities. Do you guys plan to have that like big city feel in some areas?
Yes, we want to have a big city, and that is our goal. Essentially, once the game is kind of wrapped up and we've gotten it to like 1.0, we want to have at that point at least a single large city, mostly inspired by Calgary, which is a city in South Alberta. Essentially, our map is going to be expanding in that direction, and we basically want to just flesh out the world and then add the city on top of it, and then the city would kind of be like its own map in its own right, and we kind of want to make like the city update one of our biggest updates kind of later on down the line. So
Gotcha. So
really
you want to
excited
take
to
plenty
have
of
that.
time to make it, huh?
Oh yeah.
That'll be
Yeah,
awesome. That's something
yeah,
that like
we definitely want to bring on a lot more talent when working on something like that, because I think that with our current team, like, you know, we've got a lot of really talented people, but like a city just has so much raw work that you have to put into it that we really want to bring on more people before attempting something that big, um, all on our own with this team. And so, yeah, that's basically kind
yeah,
of what we, yeah.
and I can understand that. I mean, even the city in Miscreated, it, you know, it was large and it had those big skyscrapers. You couldn't really go into all of them. You could only go downstairs.
Yeah.
And
I do appreciate that you could go in some of them though, and they had the
yeah,
parkades and the sewers and stuff. Like there was enough, I feel. Like Miscreated had a very okay amount of enterable buildings in their city.
yeah, and I can only imagine it's very difficult to make that happen with
Yeah,
such a large
absolutely.
space. But I would love to see more of that city feel because there was only so many places that actually felt like, you know, and I've driven through New York plenty of times that felt like you were in somewhere like New York. So I would
Yeah.
love to I'd love to see something like that. So if you guys make that, I'm going to be so ready for it. And then I've only got like one last thing here. And when it comes to the modding being something you've already anticipated, and I would think that you would have to see the value in modding, especially like you said, you come from being a modder.
Oh yeah, we definitely see the value in modding, and like we totally like are just we're so excited to put in tools. I'm sorry, but like just it
Yeah.
gets me so excited every time
Oh,
we talk about
I can only imagine you guys will be excited to mod your own game. Uh,
it.
what do you hope that you see from the modding community once they have their hands on those tools from Dead Matter?
um Probably a lot of porn mods. Uh
That'll end up happening, I'm sure.
um I don't know. I think once we release modding tools or players start really data mining the game, they're gonna like find out a lot of like little nuanced stuff that we probably have like hiding in the files. But other than that, I think that people will be adding a lot of like little mechanics to increase like the realism factor in the game, and you know, that's one of the nice things about having like a game in early access is we definitely want to get that modding community active at a certain point, because you know, there's a lot of inspiration, and we've even thought about maybe reaching out to certain modders to essentially you know, have them, you know, kind of do like an official mod for us or something like that, or you know, incorporate something from them in the game. Like we kind of want to experiment with like ways to work with the modding community, and kind of reward like really big projects and kind of encourage like the best from the community.
Okay, well, got anywhere that you want me to put in here for people to kind of find information, just the Dead Matter links? Is there anywhere anybody should follow? Jump in
Yeah,
Discord.
if they want to check out our Indiegogo, I mean, like they can feel free to do so. If they want to support the game, that'd be really cool, and I'll definitely give you the link for that so you can insert it in the video, and
Okay.
really, yeah, it really helps.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's uh, really hoping that you guys. I know that you guys are already getting a lot of the stuff achieved that you guys want to achieve, and I'm excited to see where it goes from there. Just to get in and be a part of it too, especially in this early time, is really exciting.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time, and you know,
Yeah, no problem.
we're all looking forward to getting in and playing.
Yeah, we're excited to finally kind of move into the playable state and kind of definitely like have you guys going through it. Should be really fun.
Yeah, yeah. I think everyone's going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I am too.
This will be the end of part 4 and the end of our Dead Matter Q&A. I want to tell you guys thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like Dead Matter and you want to see some more gameplay once the game releases, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my Twitch channel. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next live stream or video.